Good morning. It's 10 a.m. 10 a.m. 10 a.m. And this is Coffee and Conversations. Glad you are joining me here this morning. We're going to continue our study in the book of Acts. Good morning, Jill. Acts chapter 5. We're going to just pick up right after the story of Ananias and Sapphira. I didn't put the full breadth of the verses we will go through because really verses 12 to 16 are, it's a shorter section. So we might end up going past it, but then the section after that is really long, so I'm on the fence about it. All right, let's talk about announcements. So we have the Success Signals class on Saturday. If you have not registered yet and you want to participate, you want to come, register today so we can get you. We're going to send out one document for you to fill out ahead of time, and then we can make sure we have the right amount of food and all that stuff. I really want you to be there. I think it'll be beneficial. Really, I sent out an email about it yesterday, and I thought, what in life, what relationship, what interaction cannot be made better by better communicating? And I can't think of one. Really, every relationship we have will be improved by our ability to communicate better and receive communication better. So much of our life is communicative in nature, and really, unless you're talking to your dog, and even you want your dog to understand you, but your dog doesn't get offended if you communicate weirdly. So let's be better at it, because it will help us. Like, I think of everything I'm trying to do in life as I interact with other people is helped by better communicating. So why not be good at it? Why not get better at it? So often we can just kind of get in a rut and just say, okay, this is okay, this is good enough. But really, if we're going to do something, let's be good at it. So I hope you're planning to come. I hope you'll register and let us know, so that way we're prepared. So yes, please do that. If you need help registering, you can let us know, and we would gladly help you register. Huge thank you to all the ladies that came out and supported Zelisa and the family, and just for the baby shower, literally showered her with gifts. I heard it was literally a truckload of stuff to take home that she needed, y'all blessed her with. So thanks for participating. Thanks for showing her love and support in this time. I know, I heard that she was just like kind of dumbfounded in awe, and she just was so excited. So thank you for that. A couple of things coming up. We have extended fellowship potluck on 5/28. So that's the end of our Esther series. And I know that's Memorial Day weekend, and so some people are going to be gone, but we're going to do a potluck that day because the book of Esther ends with a feast, a celebration of God's deliverance of his people, a celebration of what God has done. And so let's just celebrate what God has done. And we can, as we conclude the book of Esther, we can, like the Jews celebrating Purim, we can celebrate how God has delivered us through a feast. Now, we don't do feasts like they did in the Old Testament and all that stuff, but we can celebrate, and we'll do that through sharing a meal together. And then after that, in July, we're going to have the Vacation Bible Camp, and that's July 10th to 14th. So please put that in your calendars. Please be ready to help and volunteer and invite kids and families and all that stuff. So yeah, put that on the calendar. Put those both on your calendar, and then we will keep you posted about other stuff coming up. And that's all we got today for announcements. But let's jump into Acts chapter 2. And Acts chapter 5 in the second section, and see what's happening. I need some coffee first, because I have to drink coffee during Coffee and Conversations, right? I know Jill's got hers. I wonder who else is here. If my mom's watching, she's got her Diet Coke, invariably. Allison's got her water. Karen might have her coffee. Man, who knows? Who knows what else is there? So, now many signs and wonders were regularly done among the people by the apostles' hands. And this is interesting. So we're told that these things are happening, signs and wonders, things that are pointing people to the power that the apostles have been given to perform deeds and miracles, things to verify the truth of their message, to show the veracity of what God is doing and at work in them. It was actually really interesting. I was thinking about these words, and as who are these words attributed to throughout the book of Acts? And other than Philip, if I in my quick little word study this morning, um, this is always attached to deeds that the apostles are doing. And so this isn't like the normative thing for the church. This is an act that God is empowering the apostles and representatives of the church. So Philip, being a deacon, they are being given these, the Holy Spirit is working through them to verify and substantiate the message that they're proclaiming. If you're proclaiming a message of power, of redemption, then there's going to be the early church to verify that this was truly the work of God. It's going to have power along with it. Now, the Holy Spirit does not often work in the same way in our time because it would not serve to verify the message. As we see throughout the Gospels, just because Jesus performs miraculous signs and deeds doesn't mean that someone invariably will believe. And so, even though we might want to see miracles, and even though we might desire to see miracles, the Holy Spirit, in His omniscience, in His wisdom and providence and sovereignty, empowers and gives miracles for a purpose. If He knows that doing so will not serve His purpose, then He doesn't give them. And I think if we were to consider our own location and time of being in a Western society in modern America, if a miracle of these sorts were to happen, it's not going to be about verifying the message. It would become about the messenger. They would make the miracle worker a celebrity, and it would detract from the message of the gospel. So God is going to perform miracles when it serves His purpose for His reasons, and we should be thankful when He does, but also trust Him when He doesn't. And we should not try to manufacture them, and we should not try to. I'm going to tell you what. There's people that try to manufacture miracles, and they fake miracles and they think that it brings God glory, and it doesn't. There's people that are charlatans that will say that they're performing miracles, and they don't. They're just out to steal people's money. And there are groups that will have schools that will teach you how to perform miracles. And friends, this isn't Hogwarts. It doesn't work that way. It's not a casting of a spell that you can manifest it whenever you so choose. It's entirely the Lord's prerogative. It's entirely the grace and mercy of the Holy Spirit to accomplish His purposes when He sees fit, not when we want it. It's interesting, if you read the book of Acts, these words for miracles, unless there's another word being used for miracle in the book of Acts that I didn't look up briefly right beforehand, is, and there might be, but after Acts 15, these two words, signs and wonders, are not used again in the book of Acts. So it appears that even the miraculous starts to dissipate as the gospel goes forth and goes out. The need to verify with miracles decreases. Now you can think of the exorcism of the slave girl in Philippi in 16, but other than that, I can't think of, I guess the Apostle Paul being snake bitten, but the types of things that are being done by the apostles in such grand scale are not being exercised throughout the rest of the book of Acts. At least we're not told about them. So it's interesting. Like, the Holy Spirit is going to work in the way He wants, not the way we want. And it's up to Him, and He's going to empower for His purposes, not ours. And so we can pray for miracles, we can hope for miracles, but to try and manufacture them or to conjure them up is not deferring, not working with God. So contrary to His purposes. We actually see someone who wants the power to give miracles. Things don't go very good for them in a couple chapters. So we'll get there and we'll cover it. So these were regularly done. Oh, I switched They're regularly done. So this is consistent among the people by the hands of the apostles. So again, this is to verify their message, the message of the gospel. And they were all together in Solomon's portico. Now none of the rest dared join them, but the people held them in high esteem. So that there, the rest, it could either be, where did that go? Why did that disappear? Sorry, friends. I don't know why that disappeared. There we go. No clue why that disappeared. Sorry. None of the rest of them dared join them. So this could either be referring to the crowds and not the believers, or it could be referring to the believers as distinct from the apostles. But the people are holding them in high esteem. There is fear amongst some group that is afraid to join with the apostles or with the church in Solomon's portico, which we went over weeks ago. And they're afraid because of the consequences that are happening to believers. But they hold them in high esteem. There is a goodwill that is being extended to the church amongst even non-Christians in this context because of who they are and the way they're living their lives, and the miracles. So God is working through the church and creating a positive perception amongst the people, even though the elites are going to seek to persecute God or persecute the people. And evermore, and more than ever, believers were added to the Lord, multitudes both of men and women. The church is continuing to grow. God is working through the church, through the apostles, through the believers to spread the message, and people are getting saved. And multitudes, think about that. That's not just some, that's lots. It's persistently growing, and the church is expanding in Jerusalem. And in addition to this, they carried out the sick. So they're bringing people on their mats and laying them in the street and put them there. And as Peter walks by, they're hoping that the shadows fall on them. It appears that the Holy Spirit is so powerfully at work through the Apostle Peter that if just his shadow touches people, there is the belief that they will be healed. And it says the people also gathered from towns around Jerusalem, bringing the sick and those afflicted with unclean spirits, and they were all healed. The news of the power of Peter and the apostles and the message that they bring is so astounding that people bring their friends and family members and neighbors who are ill and afflicted by unclean spirits so that they can experience healing and restoration. They want to see their family members and friends healed from the things that are afflicting them. It's in the same way that we would put a friend or family member in the car and drive them to the hospital if they needed help. We're going to help them. And so that's what they're doing. They're taking the opportunity they have to put them before Peter. And it says all of them are healed. I don't know if that literally means all. Sometimes all means all, and sometimes means generally all. But we want to see that he is healing these people, or the Holy Spirit is healing these people through the apostles, and they were healing them. That's an amazing fact that people are coming and they're all getting healed. That they are interacting with and doing things in such a way that it makes you think of when Jesus says, "Greater things than these you will do." Like when Jesus talked about believers doing greater things, they weren't greater in magnitude, but they were greater in extent. And these people are being healed by the apostles in such a way that it is working to testify to the Lord in such a way that multitudes are getting saved. The Lord is at work, and as the church is remaining faithful in the face of persecution, he's using the work of the apostles and the work of the believers to grow his church, and the Holy Spirit is empowering them for their witness to accomplish those purposes. In our day and age, he most often empowers us for his witness in the sharing of the gospel and people coming to faith, and that's why we do things like Who's Your One and whatnot. And so, friends, it's a good thing to follow the Lord and share the gospel with people, and we thank him for when he works through us in powerful and mighty ways. It's worth us going like the apostles did, and so we want to see people healed. We want to see the sick healed. We want to see those who are afflicted healed, and we should pray for that, and we should long for that. And what better sickness or affliction can people be healed from than their sin, and be transformed and be removed from this present darkness into the marvelous light? Friends, we need to be about sharing the gospel and seeking to do the work of the Lord, and he will save people. So, but at the same time, we don't get to dictate how and when he works. So, friends, I hope you'll be at work. I hope you will be praying for people to be healed. I hope you'll be praying for the afflicted to be set free. And I hope that you will be encouraged by the fact that the Holy Spirit works through the body of believers, through his church, to accomplish his purposes. And may we partner with him in that. So I hope you have a great week, and I will see you this Saturday for the communication seminar for Success Signals. And then we'll see you Sunday. All right. Have a great week. If you need anything, you let us know. Okay. Signing out.